do that. And if you want to share it on other sites, just like share it. Well, she doesn't want to share. She doesn't want to mess it up. Okay. So we have Cindy, and Cindy, I'm going to put you on the spot because I'm terrible. You can just ask Connie. I won't even say Connie's last name because I'll mess it up. I'm terrible with names. Will you tell everybody how to pronounce your last name since I'm so horrible with it?
My last name, Absug. The C is like an S.
There we go. Say it one more time. Get it stuck in my head.
Absug.
Absug. Okay, Cindy.
Yeah,
Absug.
you don't need to say it if you don't need to.
No, I'm going to get it. All right. So we wanted to do an update today because Cindy had court last week, and there's some really disturbing things going on. And I think it's really important at the end of this quick light update, we're going to give people some instructions, and we really, really, really want your help there because I think it's time to try to get some local media involved. I talked to Cindy, I think it was last night, and we were talking about potentially doing some protesting or something out in the public realm where we start drawing more light to this situation. But I don't want to give anything away to the people that may be spying on the situation. But first, I just want to give everybody an update. So, Cindy, you had court on this Wednesday or the previous Wednesday?
Both, actually. Just to recap, hi, everyone, for any of the viewers that are on tonight or anybody that watches this, I just want to let you know it's day 45 that my son, Michael, has been taken illegally from the CPS. His file is missing from the courthouse. His whereabouts are unknown. We filed a writ of habeas corpus to have him returned, and nobody in my family or his healthcare team has spoken to him or seen him.
And part of that recap is if this is the first time you're watching this, you go, well, if they took your kid, you must have done something wrong. In a recap and the information that we've got from this case so far, Cindy was she came here to get special care for her disabled son. The school, Douglas County, was not doing their job. So she started putting pressure on them, going to the school, trying to get services that her son qualified for. And lo and behold, it looks like the school weaponized CPS and used it as a form of retaliation against Cindy. They came into her home, accused her of making up her son's illnesses, even though she has doctors, therapists, other people that are confirming these things are true. And they've held her son for 45 days. She doesn't know where he is. She doesn't know who he's with. She doesn't know the condition of his health. She doesn't know anything because they won't tell her anything. And so you went to court, and part of that court hearing was to address the fact like the file has disappeared. 45 days and nobody knows where the file is. And to address you being able to get some visits. I am hearing some background noise. Is that coming from you or Ted, Cindy? Ted, do you?
I think it's background noise here, Ray.
Oh,
sorry,
okay.
can you hear it? Yeah,
No,
sorry about that.
I heard clacking and clicking. I didn't know if Ted didn't mute his mic. Okay, and so when you went to court, you, and this is kind of the part I want to focus on a little bit, you went back to see if you could get some visitations. And how did that court go? How did that play out?
Yeah, so we went into court. The initial nature of the proceeding was to set a jury trial date. We did that. We pushed that out about 6 months. I have gotten rid of the court-appointed attorney, I think, since I was last on your show, and I have a new attorney. So thank you to all the people who were donating to the GoFundMe. If anybody did from your show, I just want to say thank you. I was able to hire an attorney, and he went in with me, Jay Fisher, and he heard three other, I guess, I don't know what you call them in the court, motions or subjects.
Okay.
So the first thing, I do hear that noise. Can you hear it? It's not me coming from here. I'm not sure what that is.
No, I'm not hearing it anymore. I think
okay.
we're good.
Just making sure you can hear me okay. All right. The first thing we did was set the jury trial date. And the second thing we did was, I want to bring this up. The court document, my attorney had finally got a copy of the court order that removed my son. He had got that about 2 o'clock in the morning before the court hearing. That particular court document if you know anything about, an order, a court order, generally what will happen is a judge will, write the order, or one or the two parties will write the order. The judge will read it and sign it, and then it gets filed with the clerk's office. So in our case, my court order that was removing my son was filed and stamped and then signed 4 days later. So my attorney was kind of wondering.
After they had custody of your son?
Yeah, well, yeah, he was taken on May 17th. The court order to remove him was stamped on May 29th, and
Okay.
the court order was signed on June 3rd.
Okay, and let's park on that for just a minute. I want people to understand this. There is a precedent in this country that parents have the sole right to care and control of their children, and that aside from a state pressing interest or danger to the children, the state can't come in and just take your kids. They have to have a warrant to do this, or extingent circumstances, but that still requires a 72-hour hearing and some kind of emergency signature from a judge. So you're saying they took your son and then they got a signature from a judge?
Yeah, they got a signature probably 19 or 20 days after they took him.
Which explains why they were hiding that document from everybody. And currently the rest of the file is still missing. And so another issue that was addressed was visits. And because you haven't seen your son 45 days, haven't even had a phone call. What was the court's response on visits?
Well, my attorney pointed out in the court removal order, and that's why I brought that up, that the court order to remove him said they were going to have him for 2 weeks and then visits would start with me. Of course that made me mad, but I still wanted to see him. We didn't get that court order till the day before this past Wednesday's hearing. So my attorney brought that up and put the department and the guardian ad litem in violation of following a court order. So basically, the judge ruled that, supervised visits, because I have to be, quote, monitored, should start immediately. He addressed one other issue, which is irrelevant, and then he addressed the fact that because I did not receive the court order until June 3rd, I also lost my ability to appeal the first hearing, which was the secret hearing that wasn't even on the docket. I don't know if you remember, if the audience doesn't know, they lured me into the court telling me they were going to give me somebody to make medical appointments, and I had to go into the court to deny that, and didn't know why I was going. And so that ended up being a temporary custody hearing that where I was just buffaloed, and no due process, no rights, and then they took him. That particular court order was enforced with the visits, and since that date of May 17th, I was supposed to have the right to be able to appeal that hearing, and that by losing that right, that was something that my attorney was going to add to the writ of habeas corpus that he's filed, coming in a different angle.
Right, and they do that often. They do everything they can to manipulate the legal process to deny people due process in courts all over this country. So, but it's good. You get an order. The judge says, let's go ahead and start some visits. And then the next day, did you get a visit?
The next morning, the guardian ad litem on the case, who seems to have quite a bit of power, says that she found the original transcripts from the May 7th hearing. Huh?
That have been missing. These missing transcripts magically appeared for the attorney ad litem.
Correct. And you know what? We have been requesting them expedited. My previous attorney, the court-appointed attorney, was supposed to request them. So, she all of a sudden has them, and all of a sudden she says that the original order that the Department of Human Services wrote up is wrong. Now, this is the guardian ad litem, and she says, I'm reviewing this, and you need to rewrite the court order, so no visits. I'm objecting, no visit, objecting to all the visits.
So after court, and you don't have another court date for a while.
Yeah, October.
The item goes against the court order and says you're not getting any visits.
Yeah, she basically said that the court order that was probably not even a lawful order because it was signed after the fact that it was stamped, she says that order is wrong and doesn't match the original transcripts that nobody else has apparently seen.
And so
she,
currently,
yeah,
you
changes
still
the
don't
order.
know where your son is. You don't know how he is. Now, you mentioned something to me like his brothers and sisters. Have they been able to contact him? Have they been able to visit your son?
Nobody's had any communication with him, and my attorney Jay Fisher wrote a request to the department for sibling contact per the new policy from Jared Paulus, and cited all the laws and said, listen, it's really in the best interest. If anybody doesn't know, I have 2 older boys, 26, 22, and a daughter who's 15, all healthy, no problems. Now here's the case. Well, my daughter's had some issues, but nothing medical wise. And now we're moving forward to this. She's been 45 days now without her brother in the house. They left her still here. So she's living in the house. Her brother's gone. She hasn't seen him or talked to him either. And so when he requested that, the guardian ad litem then opposed to any sibling contact as well.
Wow. Okay, so and this is why we're doing this show. This show's going to be really, really brief, and we'll have Cindy on again sometime when she has time. Fortunately, she's getting people that are interested, but we want to get some local action. There's a really good radio talk show host that I believe doesn't have an issue with challenging power structures in the state of Colorado who are acting in a corrupt fashion, and so we're requesting people's help, because I want you to think about this. Here is a mom. If you're a mom, if you're a brother, if you're a sister, if you're an aunt, if you're an uncle, and one of your family members disappears based on false and manufactured information that is clearly false. Okay, we have doctors and therapists and other people saying this is false. And you haven't seen them for 45 days. You don't even know if they're alive. You don't even know if they're healthy. You don't know if they've been trafficked out of the country. You don't know anything. That is a horrible state for any mother, any family member to be in. And so one of the things we're asking people to do is there is a local radio show host, and his name is Jimmy Lakey. Now, I went on Jimmy's show about a week and a half ago, and it was a call-in Friday, any topic, and I shared Cindy's story. And Jimmy said, have her get in touch with me, and I'll talk to her. But so far, Jimmy's been MIA. And so what we're asking people to do is we're going to put in the links of this video. And we want you to go to the YouTube or go to the YouTube link, copy it, and then write an email, a Twitter direct message, and a Facebook Messenger message and a Facebook post to Jimmy Lakey. We'll have all the information laid out. And we don't want people to attack him. We don't want people to say anything mean or rude. We want to offer a plea, and we want to say, Jimmy, will you please look at the evidence of this case? Will you please look at what's happening to this mother and family and do what you do and bring attention to the fact that Douglas County and Colorado DCF and this apparently corrupt ad litem is keeping this disabled child away from his mother unlawfully. And I want to share something about this attorney ad litem. So, and you can confirm or if you know this information. So I've been doing some research on some of the people involved in the case. And the attorney ad litem, her name is Christina A. Brigham. Is that correct? Christina Brigham? Is that the right person?
Yeah, that's the guardian ad litem. Yeah.
Okay, out of Castle Rock, Colorado. So I'm doing some research and I see these fraud reports and cheat reports. And the one I'm looking at right now, I want to read it to everybody, okay? This was written in May of 2018, and it says, I want to warn all families in Colorado, especially in Douglas County, of attorney Christina Ann Martin Brigham, her violations and the harm of a child and his family through her misconduct and total disregard of her GAL duties. Now, if anyone doesn't know what a GAL is, it's a guardian ad litem. They're supposed to represent the best interest of the children, but often they become a facilitator for the child trafficking. And I encourage people to do research. If you find anything else about this attorney, please send it to it. You can message to it, email us. get a hold of Cindy, any information that'll help her expose what these people are doing, help us expose what these people are doing. But according to this individual, a complaint to the Office of the Child's Representative was filed in May of 2017, and they found that Ms. Brigham was in clear violation of Chief Justice Directive 04-06, which establishes the professional obligations for guardian ad litems, and that she was given discipline and they've buried it. They've hidden it. You can't find it. I've looked her up and it shows that she's never had a disciplinary complaint, but apparently, according to multiple sources, and Christina, if we're wrong, you're welcome to get a hold of us. You can come on the show and set the record straight. But according to this person and another witness, you got busted lying on the stand about visiting children that you didn't visit and using phony conversations of what those children allegedly said to try to get children permanently removed from a home. And that she was found that she did commit these violations in this report where a child was actually hurt. And she was making false statements about what was going on with the child she was supposed to be representing. So here we have an ad litem that should probably not even be practicing law if these complaints are true. If she got caught committing perjury in a court of law, what is she doing as a GAL again? And what connection does she have with Children's Hospital Colorado? What connection does she have with these people that has the power to overrule a judge's order to give visits to a mother and deny them? And so we got issues, Christina. And Jimmy Lakey, if you watch this video, okay, back to what I was saying. Sorry, I got sidetracked. So we want everybody to send a message to Jimmy, add this video to it, and just ask him, Jimmy Lakey, will you please have Cindy on the show? Will you please look at her evidence? Will you please address what's going on in Colorado, DCF, and Douglas County in this mother's case? Help reunite this family. And so when we put the information up, we're going to ask you to go on Twitter, to go on Facebook, on Jimmy Lakey's Facebook. And then I got the, I wrote it down. And I don't know what I did with it. I think it's info@jimmylakey.com. We're going to put the links up. So we want an email. We would like you to address him on Twitter @Jimmy Lakey, any platform we find him on, and just say, let's do it for a day or two until he responds, and just say, Jimmy, will you please take a look at this case? And so we brought Cindy on today to share that update. And Cindy, is there anything you'd want to say to Jimmy Lakey about helping you figure out what's going on with your kid? Is there a message you possibly have?
I just want to say thank you to you, Seraphim, and for having me on. I also want to say, Jimmy, if you're listening, I'd love to share the story with you and any evidence that you may need. I've got a stack of evidence this big that is showing that my son has been wrongfully taken. There's no proof or evidence that he should be gone. I also want to note that with what Seraphim's talking about, I don't understand how the guardian ad litem is making all these decisions in the case, even to overrule the judge. It doesn't make sense to me. If somebody in my family could just talk to my son, or to see him, or anybody talk to him, that would be at least reassuring that he's in the area.
All right.
So
Jimmy,
please have me on. I guess please have me on. I know we had connected at one point. We talked about coming on a morning radio show. You can give him my number, Seraphim, if he calls you, or maybe he'll email me. I have an email if anybody wants to contact me. bringmichaelhome1111@gmail.com. That's bringmichaelhome1111@gmail.com.
and Jimmy, you can email me either at Schwabstrong on Twitter. You can send us a Twitter, or you can email schwabstrong@gmail.com, or you can go to Seraphim Amelia Schwab and message us, or you can go to Free the Schwab Children Facebook and message us, or you can email Cindy directly. But I've seen Jimmy take on the Erie City Council and the city manager for some unjust political shenanigans. I know he cares about Colorado. I know he cares about exposing corruption. So we're asking you, Jimmy, help us get this to be a local fight where we're coming together as citizens of Colorado and Americans and saying, look, we don't like secret courts. We're Americans. We don't like due process being manipulated and denied people, and especially when it comes to children. We got all of these people out there.
Amen to that.
About immigrant children that are getting separated. And you know what? This ties in because I guarantee you they're trafficking those immigrant children into oblivion. And it starts right here with even American families that are being ripped apart, due process violated. And we really need your help, Jimmy. So everybody, please don't be rude. Let's be kind to Jimmy and just plead with him to help this mother out. Hopefully we can see you get on that show and continue to share these videos. If you find another interview that Cindy has done that you want to share with Jimmy on a different site, she's going to be on the Red Pill tonight. Is that correct? Like soon?
Yeah, Red Pill. It's I'm going to be on the Red Pill telling the whole story at 7 Mountain Time, 9 Eastern.
Yeah, so we got to get you off here because it's almost 7. And then what are some? You were also on the. What was the last one you were on? What was the name of that show? It's like the Freedom Report.
Northwest Liberty News. David Knight.
Okay, David Knight.
Trying to think of a couple ones that I've been on.
Just go ahead and search them out, and you guys can send those. You don't have to send this video, but send him some substantiation of her story that he can watch and listen to. Continue to share those articles. Megan Fox did an article. We're going to have Megan Fox on our show here in about a week or two. We'll talk about your case a little bit when she comes on. And so please, guys, help us out. That's why this is called Action Alert. We got to get Cindy out of here. Cindy, really thank you for taking the time. I know this is hard. We care about you. We've been through it in a different way. I can't imagine 45 days without even knowing where my children are. And we'll be praying for you and with you. And we hope that soon you'll have your son
Having
back.
trouble hearing you.
Okay. We can go ahead and
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you fine. Can you?
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to close. We're done. And we are
okay. Thank you, everyone, for your support. Please keep us in your prayers. God bless you and your wife and kids, Seraphim.
All right. Thank you, Cindy, for coming on. Ted, feel free to wrap it up now. And everybody share this video. Follow the link. Let's get a hold of Jimmy Blakey. Thank you.